If you've ever met someone and from that very first moment you found yourself almost instantly liking them, have you ever stopped to wonder why that is? What is it about that person that makes you feel like you can trust them and you can invite them into your world? Is there something, any one thing or a set of characteristics in others that we all find attractive? Now, I don't mean physical attractiveness, but the far more important sense of who that person is as a person. One way to think about it is, what do you look for in an ideal friend? Why does one person become a close confidant while another person who's perfectly really great still remains just an acquaintance? What are we looking for in each other and what do we hope to be for others? What do we find most admirable in others and in ourselves? And who does God need us to be to live the best and most fulfilling life we're created to live? Indeed.com is a place you can go to find jobs in your area, or if you're wanting to hire somebody, you can post employment opportunities. Tens of thousands of people use Indeed every single day. So it is their business to study the interactions between all those people who are checking each other out, at least for employment purposes. Recently, for an online article, they surveyed their users to find out the qualities that people most admire in others, and several things turned up consistently. In no particular order, their 11 top admirable qualities were openness to change, humility, loyalty, accountability, resiliency, honesty, respectfulness, compassion, integrity, generosity, and gratitude. Now, that is a great list. Any one of those traits is admirable. But the interesting part of the article comes before the list. The editors at Indeed admit that what makes a person admirable can be kind of hard to define because what one person finds most admirable may not be what someone else finds most admirable, that everyone has different tastes. And then they say this: with these varying definitions in mind, though, admirable people typically possess fundamental qualities that enable them to act authentically. In other words, all of those specific qualities like humility, accountability, integrity, and all the rest add up to one characteristic: authenticity. Makes sense. If you go back to the idea of an ideal friend or how you can best be a friend, it's safe to say authenticity is absolutely necessary. If you think about who you most admire, our perception that they are authentic is a really big part of that. They are real. And one reason you might not like someone or you distrust someone because they don't seem to be genuine. They come across as fake. They're acting. Maybe they're hiding something. So, if authenticity truly is what we need from others, and we can safely assume is what other people need from us, then how are we doing with that? Because I don't need to tell you that there are some things about myself that I might want to hide from you. Does being authentic mean I have to tell you that I came very close to flunking fourth grade math? Or that I once said a really mean thing to a girl when all she did was beat me in a foot race? And the truth is, there are plenty of things I've said and done I wish I had not. And there are things that have happened to me I would rather not have publicized. So, I've made mistakes and I have caused hurt and I've been deeply wounded. I've fallen short. Sometimes I've given up when I should have kept trying. I've been complacent when I should have had more conviction. I have let people down, and people have let me down. I am very imperfect. And if there's one thing we're all really good at, it's concealing and minimizing our imperfections. We do that because although we value the importance of authenticity, of being real, we also carry with us a fair amount of apprehension, the fear that if our imperfections are found out, then we might not be regarded quite so highly. We might be ridiculed, rejected, seen as unworthy or as damaged goods, maybe even untrustworthy. And that might be the worst thing of all in a world where authenticity matters so much. And I think that's why, from the very early days of human society, we've sought not only community and belonging with others, with people who are real, But with those friends, we have sought their understanding and their forgiveness and restoration with them. And if that's ever hard to come by in our relationships with each other, if people are not quick to forgive, if they hold on to grudges and suspicion, and if they hold back on acceptance and they're quick to judge, I think that's a big reason why people seek acceptance, forgiveness, and belonging and restoration through a connection with the holy, with God. And that's what the author of Psalm 32 did. Now, we don't know who that writer was or what in the world they felt they had done wrong, but they clearly did not feel good about it. And the people who made up this writer's community, maybe even their own family, they were apparently not a very understanding or forgiving bunch. So the writer at first deals with their inner turmoil by staying silent, by hiding whatever it was that they had done or concealing the pain they had endured, which only made the pain worse, of course. The only relief was found in opening up to God and being authentic with the being who is the source of all life and knowledge and wisdom and love. And only in doing that does the writer find relief and release and happiness. Not because their imperfections have magically disappeared. That would be like hoping a wound that's been inflicted on us would never leave a scar. But of course, we always carry scar tissue, even long after a wound has healed. No, the writer is happy and whole because, in their words, they have been covered. Now, covered at first might sound like concealment, like something's being hidden from view, but that's not what this means. The Hebrew word here, translated as cover, is pesash. It's the same word used in the story of the Exodus of the children of Israel from slavery in Egypt. Pesash is used to describe the blood that was smeared on the doorframes of their homes, the story of the Passover. So it does not mean concealment at all, but a very visible sign of protection and care and love. The writer of the psalm is happy because of Pesash. In other words, my sins, my mistakes, the wrongs I've inflicted and the wrongs inflicted on me, all my shortcomings, my woundedness, my imperfections are very much there, but now everything is changed because I am covered. I am protected. I am accepted as I am, warts and all. I belong. I am loved. And because of that, I can be who I am, imperfect, but welcomed and beloved anyway. Authentic. It's not uncommon for us to have the crazy idea that we can be authentic, but just right up to the point where our imperfections start to show. And so we're very good at hiding those imperfections. We might figure, well, no one wants to see that stuff anyway. Maybe not. But the real question is, are we trying to hide that stuff from ourselves? Because if we are, then that's a problem. We need authenticity within ourselves, or we feel divided, conflicted, torn up. We need congruence, a sense of harmony between how we feel about ourselves on the inside and how we present ourselves on the outside. That's why mental health professionals use the word dissonance to describe inner conflict. Dissonance is the opposite of harmony, and harmony is really just another word for authenticity. And we want and we need authenticity in our relationships with each other. It's what we admire and we seek in one another. The problem comes whenever we believe that we need to present perfection to the world out of fear that we won't find acceptance, belonging, and love. That we need to prove how smart and capable and free of mistakes and wounds we are out of the fear that we'll be deemed unfit. But the amazing truth is, others don't need or even want our perfection anyway. God does not need or want our perfection either. Our imperfections are already covered. They are taken care of. That's why we call it amazing grace. All anyone wants of us is to be real, to be in harmony with ourselves and with each other. And one of the primary purposes of a church community is to be the kind of place where you know how true it is that each and every one of us has caused wounds and is wounded, where every one of us is imperfect, and where all of us can feel like we are completely clueless a lot of the time. But we also know that we are covered. Pesash. So imperfect as we are, we're all still trying, and we are trying together, day by day with the new day that God creates for us to live into fully, not to be perfect and not even pretending to be. We're just being who we are. We are friends, accepting and welcoming and embracing and loving each other authentically, just as we have been loved and just as we are loved, for real.